Oh yeah, let's go. Two fat Filipinos. Two fat Filipinos talking in the house. We two fat Filipinos that you can't deny. Let's talk for a while, baby, give it a try. Listen in and check out what we have to say. You all notice we just be doing this our way. Come chill with us tonight. Ain't got nothing else going on. That's right, we two fat Filipinos talking the shit you know. Listen in or not, doesn't matter, that's how we flow.
Say it.
There
There
you
we go.
go. Now it's
Okay.
recording. Let's
What
start
is
it
up,
again.
everyone? What is up? It is us again. We are. We have no idea what we're doing again, but we're back. I am Crispy Papa, and he is,
I'm Papa Bear, and welcome to Two Fat Filipinos Talking. Yes, this is the
aka.
Crispy Papa Bear Show. All
Hey,
right.
before we start, I just wanna let you know, man, that song, that intro song in our last episode, that is a banger. I love it. It encapsulates exactly what I like to establish in this show that we are having. I don't know. But it's fun. It's nice. It's very
Oh, thank you. Yes,
hype.
that was actually the third version of the song of our single that we just released. And if you guys liked it, we might release it as well. Right. So put it in the comments if you guys enjoyed
Right here.
that intro and exit where, two fat Filipinos, like it's a little bit more smooth, a little bit more R&B. It's like, I mean, we're not dancing or anything, but if you can
No,
imagine us dancing, please don't. You might throw
please
up.
don't. Yeah, why would you do
Fuck
that
that.
to yourselves?
Exactly right. But it was I
Why?
think it was really cool. I think it was a good R&B type mix.
It
Very
it
slow, very
it is. I am very honest. I'm not just biased because it's our show, but I really do like it. Like it's my type of music back when I was in high school. Uh, back in the 670 days. Shout out Saipan.
All right, yes. And it was actually also one of my favorite versions of that song. Reminds me of a little bit like, some of my favorite groups like Boys to Men. Yep. I won't be afraid to mention that. But yes, so if you like more of those types of songs, just hop into my channel, One Legged Guy Writing Songs on YouTube. You can
Oh my
check
god,
out some of my other
banger,
songs there. All right.
banger
So,
after banger after banger on that one.
before we start our episode today, I'd like to thank a couple of sponsors. Okay, this is episode 4, and I'd like to thank Microsoft Clipchamp. Right, I moved away from Filmora. I just found that Microsoft Clipchamp can actually do the work a lot better, a lot easier, and a lot cheaper. I don't have to pay anything. And if you can hear that rumbling on my roof, I don't know if it's a couple of cats fighting or just the neighbors. All right.
It could be
Um,
both. You never know.
exactly. I'd also like to thank Video Guru, which is an app on my phone that I use to edit our snippets. Okay. Thank you, Video Guru. Yep, I paid for that app, and it's a good one-time deal. Right. And I'd also like to,
Dang.
I'd also like to thank Samsung for my phone, my A53. It's almost 3 years old or 2 years old. I don't know. 2 years old, I think. So I think it's about time that I get a new one. Samsung, if you can please hook me up with the cheapest version, I'm okay with that. All right.
Any version is cool. Anything free
Any
is
version is cool.
great.
Anything free is cool. I've been a Samsung dude ever since my wife handed me my first Samsung phone, which was the Samsung Galaxy S2. It was a lot like about 14 years ago, something like
That's a
that.
long time ago, man.
I know,
Yes.
right?
Wow. Okay.
And where did we go from here? Oh, by the way, I'm an Android user, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I know some people are very
They're very
they
particular.
always like they're very particular with regard to their iPhones. But come on, dude, like 70% of people in the world actually use Android phones, and some Android phones are a lot more expensive than the iPhone. All right.
And me too. I am not an iPhone user. I will never be an iPhone user. I was forced to use Mac for 2 years for
Oh,
our former job.
I remember that. And you said
Yes.
you were having trouble with it at one point.
Yes, nangangain ng tanga. So, I'm very stupid when it comes to, or I used to be stupid when it comes to Apple and Mac products. Hopefully, I'm not anymore. Um, we will see.
Right.
Uh,
And for you English speakers out there, you didn't know what he said. Nangangain ng tanga literally means the MacBook was the same experience as eating something that was stupid.
yeah, that's a literal translation. But yeah, it's it wasn't user friendly to me at first, but I got the hang of it. But speaking of sponsors, I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors too. Number one, as always, thank you, Compendium Library, for sponsoring this episode. I know
Sweet.
we are also the ones behind Compendium Library, so it's actually a cheap plug. It's free advertising.
It's
Uh,
it's the cheapest one there is. Oh, by the way,
cheapest
if you
one there is.
notice in the Compendium Library, it's yours truly's voice introducing every episode. So yeah.
He's the man. I don't have any vocal um help or audition in that, but I did edit everything. So
Oh, there you go.
it's crappy. It's not
I
good.
don't think it's
Just
crappy. I think it's actually pretty awesome, man. I
yeah,
mean, for a
and I'm just
Harry Potter fan, I'm not seeing anything I dislike about any of that shit.
and I'm
It's
just
wonderful.
using I'm just using the free version of Clipchamp, y'all. So
There you
work
go.
with me. Work with me.
Yes.
So another um sponsor I'd like to thank is the LPG business that my
There you
uh,
go.
excuse me, that my kuya has. Uh, Thank you for keeping my Saturdays and or Sundays um occupied. Otherwise, I'll be bored. Uh, Another one. I'd like to thank another sponsor, Vermark. They are a background checking company. Uh, I'm not gonna spoil anything right now, but shout out to Vermark as early as now. There.
There you
Vermark
go.
is not actually sponsoring us. However, I will be doing business with them soon. So, Vermark, shout out.
Shout out. I have two more sponsors to name, but I just want to make sure that for all of you listeners who are not from the Philippines, like from the States or any other country that actually uses propane to heat their houses, okay, we do not use propane to heat any of our houses here because it's fucking hot. My brother Chrissy Papa actually gets like five or like six, seven huge tanks of propane every week for only one thing, and that's for cooking.
Well, I'm not using all of that. We're selling it off. And I'm literally just the delivery guy. I literally just
Oh, well,
take what we have.
tell me how many propane tanks you use just for cooking alone.
Like for us for cooking,
Yes.
just one, man, and that lasts for like a month or more, almost two
Oh,
months.
that's actually good.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we get it for free thanks to that
Oh, there you go.
pretty business.
Yes. And again, that's actually just us using propane for cooking. We do not use it to heat up our houses nor our
No,
beds. We have our
no.
women for that. And just to be pretty clear, okay, you may see two fat dudes in front of you. You may think that we're living in our mother's basement. Hell fucking no. Hell to the fucking no. Okay? We actually have our respective partners, our life partners. All right. And for those who think that people like us can't get women, well, why don't you just look yourselves in the mirror and try to change your personality? All right. Because
Not the
this is
weight,
where our
guys.
personalities
Not the weight.
landed us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the weight.
And
Stop blaming
sorry.
the weight.
Yeah, it's not the weight, it's who you are.
Stop it.
All right. Now, okay, for my last two sponsors, I'd like to say huge shout out to Pizza Hut, always making it great, especially their cheesy stuffed crust pizzas. Can't get enough of it. All right. I just sampled a couple earlier today, and my girlfriend loved it. I loved it. Okay, hopefully you can send me more. And I'd also like to thank Angel's Pizza Pasta. I mean, nothing to say. The pizza is actually pretty good, but I do have a complaint. When I ordered the Supreme last week, I specifically mentioned not to put any pineapple. You still put fucking pineapple. All right. So I still like your stuff, but Grab was actually going to give me a discount on that. And I'd also like to say a huge shout out to Grab. So for taking care of the orders, and hopefully I can get a refund on that pizza because I don't like pineapple, man. Come on.
Yeah,
So
but in my opinion, pineapple does not go on pizza as well. That might be controversial and a hot take. I just don't give a shit.
I
So,
don't give a
uh,
shit either. I mean, it's okay for me to drink pineapple juice to help with my digestion. Maybe eat some pineapple chunks for that as
yeah,
a
you need
natural.
pineapple juice every
Yeah,
now and then. Oh yeah.
yeah, but don't put it in a freaking pizza, man. It's like, ugh. Okay. The only time I'm gonna order Hawaiian pizza is if I know that I'm not eating it and I'm just giving it to some poor schmuck who doesn't know the difference. Okay.
There you go.
After
And
that, shit. You had something else to say?
yeah, as you guys can see, my brother Papa Bear is very rich. Uh,
You motherfucker.
he orders pizza on the regular. He orders whatever on the regular, and for Grab to give you a discount on something. That's saying something, man. Uh, Full disclosure, there are no delivery options in my neck of the woods. Like literally zero. We don't have Grab, no Food Panda, no nothing. Even the fast food chains that are kind of sorta near us, which is by the way 12 kilometers away, does not deliver to our area. That is how isolated we are. I am once again in the middle of nowhere, Laguna. I love
And
it
I'm
though.
actually smack dab in the middle of the city. I think
Yeah,
that's me. I actually love it because I was a city boy ever since I was a young kid. So I think I'm
yeah,
just living the way it is. So
and
yeah, it's
I was
convenient. It's convenient since I'm
yeah,
a
it's convenient. Yeah,
PWD,
for sure,
So yeah.
for sure. I was also raised in the urban jungle of Malabon. I'm born and raised in Malabon. But my years in Saipan, because we literally live in the mountains there. Capitol Hill, shout out Capitol Hill. And before that, in 1996, we were in. Dang, I forgot what village it was. Asmatwis, I think Asmatwis. But yeah, it's a very different lifestyle. Like our nearest neighbor is like 10-minute walk away, like literally that far.
Well, that's
So
not so bad. I mean, if you compare it to other some specific parts of the U.S. where they actually live like more than an hour from each other, right? I mean, I know there are, I mean, there are places I think, in Texas, maybe in the Midwest, that's like that. Okay, am I not
maybe in
mistaken?
the Appalachian Mountains,
Oh, there you go.
but they are, they're being reduced. RRs are were a thing back then. Do you remember RRs?
Yeah, rural routes,
Yeah, not
and there
anymore.
were
No
like
more.
really okay.
There haven't been any RRs in like 10 or 15 years. But yeah,
Wow, that's
it's
cool.
not a thing anymore. So, but in Alaska, that's a different beast altogether. So yeah, in Alaska, there's probably like people living like 10 kilometers from you. But yeah, it's a different feel from where I was born and raised. But enough about that. Enough. Papa Bear, let us know what we're
Okay.
gonna talk about
Yeah.
today.
So today's topic is something that we totally enjoyed in the BPO industry, not because not just because we went through it, but essentially we went through it in almost on a daily basis for a very long time. Okay, our topic for today is training in the BPO. All right. So usually what happens is when you get hired, and sorry, if and when you get hired, all right, before you step into the actual work, you usually get training that includes core skills and product training, and in the middle, you may be given language training. All right. So to start off this
Bro, that's not a
episode,
thing. Like the language training in the middle is not a thing. That's a psychs only thing.
well, let's
Like
put it. Well, that may be a psychs only thing, but it doesn't just apply to psychs. I know several other centers who have had that.
yeah,
Okay,
but
maybe
in the
not with
beginning, not in the
you.
middle.
Yes. But yeah, maybe not with you, but yeah, and other centers don't usually have that anymore because they hire the best of the best, like Amex, all right? And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure Amex never had that because I went through it. I can only speculate on some other centers or some other companies that do not go through language training. But enough about that. We shall continue on with training in general. All right. So to start off, um, why don't I ask you, brother, okay, to tell me about your experience when you were being trained towards the experience when you started training and what did you train?
The very first training experience I've had is like almost a decade and a half ago with Advanced Contact Solutions or ACS. No, not that ACS, but ACS. Nonetheless, um, it's a it's a job that was poorly paid, even in at that point in time. 15,200 pesos basic, no allowances. And the training is night shift. And this is the only time I've also had like a pre-training before the training. Um, and it's not your rate. You're not gonna get paid your actual rate, like 15,200 a month. For the first 2 weeks, you're only paid minimum wage, whatever the minimum wage was at that time. That time was
Wow. Okay.
480 pesos. So yeah, it was fun. I think we mentioned in our previous episodes that the first training that we went through, both of us, we still have friends to this day.
Yes.
Shout out to Jex, shout out to Tina. Love you guys. So the Brusco brothers, and the second Brusco brothers in Teletech, but the original one was in ACS. That's me, Jex, Tinay, Tibin or Kevin, and Marco Antonio Justiniano. Rest in peace, my brother. Um, so that's the original. That's the pillar. And then there's like a spin-off group uh, perpetrated by Jex again. He started in Teletech in 2012, but whatever. I know most of them, not all of them. So shout out to you guys as well. They're very nice people. But yeah, man, it's a time where people are, uh, uh, at least in my experience, people are new. Most of us were new.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, only Marco Mac was the one with any sort of experience at that point. I was still a student at that time. So um, coming from that kind of situation, school into a training situation, it's very similar. So I was very at home, and it's like when I go to school in the morning, I got my buddies there, and then when I work at night, I have a different set of
Okay.
buddies.
Why don't you tell
So,
me what was it about training? Are you being trained that you enjoyed the most?
uh, like that when we started, of course, it was English training. Uh,
Ah,
it
there you
was
go.
it was easy for me because I studied high school in the U.S. So like naming the 50 states, I can do that blind, sleeping, uh, and confused and drunk. Sometimes all of the
Come
above.
on.
Like sometimes all of the above, man. So I can do that. Um, Grammar is not really an issue. Pronunciation is not either. So in terms of like what's being taught to us, I don't really care. I was there for the camaraderie, and I thought it's gonna be like that always and forever. Like I don't know. This is the first time, or yeah, this is the only time uh, that there were 33 of us that started the training, and all 33 of us graduated to the floor, to the production floor,
Oh, there you go.
and
That's
started the
nice.
training. Yeah, it's I don't know.
It's 100% turnover from training is
Yeah,
actually pretty rare.
it is pretty rare. I found out it's pretty rare. I thought it was just, you know, the regular thing, and nobody went AWOL until like a month and a half into production. But
Okay.
yeah, in terms of like language training, because that's like the first part. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Shout out to Ping, Rafael Manlulu. He was our trainer back then. And another guy, MM is his um, initials. Fuck him. But yeah, Ping. Shout out to you, man.
Okay. Well,
I looked up to him a lot.
after being trained, all right, and you said that you were looking up to trainers. That I mean, I have my own opinions of that, and I'll be able to share that as well. Why don't I ask you about like, what aspects of those trainers that you look up to? Did you display or did you sort of like assimilate to make
Or
you a better
emulate.
trainer, emulate, and how did that translate into your training, and what were you training afterwards when you became a trainer?
So uh, I have like yeah, Ping Manlulu. Shout out to you again, man. As my trainer, and his style was different. He is very rough around the edges. He's not your typical by the books trainer. At that point, he was playing with his iPhone 2 uh, during training, and then he doesn't flash anything on the board. He doesn't he doesn't flash anything. If you think about it, yeah, he just gave us like topics, and then he talks about it. Uh, that that particular side or style of training, I don't really like because that's a very general type of training, and that's what he did. But the way he delivered it with um, I don't want to say roughness, but definitely not your corporate training style. So I like that a lot. I try to always incorporate that when possible. And his jokes, man. It's the young people nowadays call it canal humor. Not like some of the trainers that I've also seen and witnessed, especially in my job now. They have humor, but they are what we call aircon humor. So it's the I think there's a happy ground between canal humor and aircon humor, which is calzada humor, that I like best. So that's the style of training and humor I try to adopt and
Hmm.
emulate.
Okay, very nice. And going back to my earlier question, so you were trying to emulate that sort of like humor into training, but what specifically did you train back then? I know you trained English, I know you trained language.
I did, yeah.
Okay, and maybe you can give me a brief description on what you trained other than that, or maybe you
Uh,
can tell me about it.
in
Like
my
product. I know you taught product too.
I did. Back in 20 between 2011 and 2012, I taught or I trained product training for a known brand of printer that has only two letters. By the way, if you have that printer, why they suck? They suck so much. I'm telling you guys, they suck so much. By the way, yeah, it's that's those are the only two things I really train on. Like the language training, it's mostly about 50 states, how to effectively communicate with the customer, what to expect, that kind of thing. And then product, it's literally product. Here's
Oh,
topic one, two, three, and I discussed topic one, two, three. And yeah, I was just a part-time trainer back then. It, not until 2019 was I really like the guy training for any sort of company. By the way, if you can hear barkings in my background, I apologize. That's Shappy. Shappy, pee, 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 pee. But yeah, I don't. It's not that I dislike product training, but I do enjoy the English training more because it's more of a conversation between me and the trainees, and
yes.
that's what I enjoy most. Um,
Okay.
everybody can learn product training. Everybody can learn English training, if you will.
All
But not
right.
everybody can converse effectively. So that's
That's actually true.
what I like.
Because I used to be an English coach for 5 years and was an English specialist for seven slash supervisor. So in my experience, training was actually very memorable. Why? Because it's you learn and then you get to have fun at the same time. And I think that's what translated towards me being an effective trainer because not only did I have fun when I was training, since I was training English a lot and soft skills. Soft skills, by the way, is like the other skills you need besides language, which is phone etiquette, empathy, acknowledgement, assurance. So all in one roof, soft skills. I trained that. It was always fun because, like Chrissy Papa said, it's all about conversations. And the I think some of the barriers that we had to go through, or that I had to go through, was to start off very basic because not a lot of Filipinos are really into the conversational stuff, or like if they don't know how to build rapport, they might know like how to answer every question in the book. Like, okay, what should I do if I encounter this? Or like if the customer has a specific question about balances, they can answer it straight away. That's not a problem. But when the customer veers off and says something simple as how are you doing there today then? Or like, how's the weather? Or you know what? I was gonna watch a movie last week, but my girlfriend broke up with me. Then some agents actually just stop, and some of them would just say, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, yeah,
That effectively just ruins the
yeah.
entire conversation.
I
All
agree.
right. So me being able to train soft skills and conversational acumen and rapport building actually helped my company back then. So I'm pretty good at that. Especially when stuff veers off script. All right. And I was part of an account where they were like totally 100% scripted. They had to read like everything. And when the customer veers off, and the customer asks something else, they just freeze. They don't know what to say. And not only have I experienced that in my own company, but I've actually experienced that in my when I was calling about uh when I was calling about a debit card that I needed to get activated. All right. And believe it or not, it was was actually able to talk to an agent of my wife who was a team leader back then in the company. And the agent couldn't answer a very simple question. That simple question was, so what are you gonna do on the weekend? Like, okay. It's like, damn. What the agent sounded good, but for the mere fact that you can't answer anything that's not on the script, that's very detrimental. And do you know why? And I think Chrissy Papa, you'll agree with me because if you're too scripted, then you have no capability, you have no thinking ability. Like you just stop and freeze. The fact that you're not thinking and you can't even answer a simple question like that says a lot about one's abilities, and that just drops the customer experience from like a 90 to a 45, or like maybe even a 10. You can't answer a simple question like that, right? Okay, so I trained a lot of that. And when I was promoted, and that's when I was promoted to an English trainer. I mean, I would also train pronunciation and grammar. That you can solve with scripts and oral practices. All right. But if you let's put it this way. I don't know what you would think, bro, but hear me out. I would rather have somebody with like a thick accent and okay grammar, but is able to converse with a customer, like can answer every one of the customer's questions and build rapport, even if it's awkward. I would rather have a confident agent with those abilities rather than an agent who has the perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, but zero empathy and zero how do you call this as a zero or
Emotional intelligence.
emotional intelligence, or does not want to build rapport.
Ah.
I would pick somebody with almost bad English but good rapport, all right, than somebody with wonderful English and no rapport. I would pick that because I can train a person's pronunciation and grammar, which is a lot easier than having to train somebody's willingness to converse or build rapport. I would take that over a better English speaking person. What do you think? Tell me
Well,
your thoughts.
I have there's two schools of thoughts for that, in my opinion. If you want me to look at it as an English trainer or as a trainer in general, you're right. I'd rather have somebody that is not gifted technically, like in the technical sense of like the English training that we used to do, than somebody that is technically sound but is um yeah emotionally not there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, I'd rather have that. But speaking as a customer myself, I just don't care. Just answer my question. I don't care if you build rapport. I don't care if I don't care if you can converse well or not, as long as you can understand me. You get me what I want. I'm the type of customer also that does not like to build rapport with the person on the line, because that's just a waste of my time.
Well, you
So
just
I'm
you
that
just
kind
you
of
well then
customer.
you specifically represent that one type of customer. Okay. Well, there
So
you go. At least that's an honest and
yeah,
astute opinion coming from a customer's perspective,
yeah,
right?
and I'm
But
not.
from a
I'm
trainer's perspective, you still agree with me.
absolutely, because
There you go.
who would we rather train? Somebody that does. It's like a basketball, right? If you I don't know if you know basketball on a deep level, but I'd rather train somebody that can't shoot rather than train somebody to dunk, because not everybody can dunk, but
Mm.
everybody can be taught to shoot. So it's that kind of situation, and it's very easy for a trainer's perspective. So there, those are my two schools of thought. I'm sure other people will have other opinion. It depends on how they are as a customer. I never, ever become irate with any like agent on the phone. I just laugh it off if they if they fucked up and say like, bro or sis or whatever. Okay lang yan, or that's okay. Just do this, this and that. If you can do it, then just let me know. Not a problem, right?
There you go.
So, but I am very straight to the point. I'm that type of person that this is part of like soft skills training, right? The type of customers. I think it's nice to talk about then. So I'm the type of customer that is a no nonsense customer that just want my things done, and I know they have to like at least try and attempt to build rapport. Maybe that's part of their metrics in their QAs. Definitely, there's none of that in any local establishment that I've called into. So um, yeah, as much as I can, I just want my things addressed and get off the phone, because I got other shit to do, man.
Okay. Well, how about speaking of other shit, can you please provide me with a scenario, or can you tell me about an awesome training experience as a trainer
Oh
that
my
you've
god.
had?
Bro, this sounds like a trainer interview question. This is literally a trainer interview question.
Well, it
It,
actually bleeds up. It bleeds out from our last episode where we talked about interviews. So, in
that's
a
true.
sense, I'm almost interviewing you, but this is
You
a
are. Damn.
podcast, and we're only sharing stories. And this is a story that I would very much like to hear. So, if you would please shove aside your asshole tendencies and answer the goddamn question.
What was your question again? I wasn't listening.
Would you mind sharing an experience where you, as a trainer, enjoyed a certain type of training or an instance where it was very memorable for you as a trainer?
I have 1,000 stories of that and 1,000 stories opposite of that. So
This is not 1001 trainer nights.
I
Okay,
know.
just tell me one.
I'll tell you one. And this is, I guess, memorable because it was being observed.
All right.
Um, this is back in 2019, 2020, 2021. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But yeah, uh, one of the last trainings I did in my return to a non-agent role
Okay.
um, is this group of people. Um, they are not just Filipinos. There's like two Filipinos and three Americans in this training. Um, it's memorable because I find it funny that the training was supposed to be 8 hours, like 1 day training, but we were done after 6.
Wow. Okay.
And these are newbies. One of them is an actual teenager. One of them was 19 years old. This one girl, right out of high school, I think, in the U.S. Um, she was very meek, but she was an empty cup, a blank canvas.
Wow.
So she has no idea how to take calls because that's not one of the things she did in high school. So I'm saying this is one of the best, one of the most memorable because those that are newbies are, I don't know if you'll agree, but for me, newbies are easier to train than those with experience already, especially
Agreed.
those
Agreed.
with
Yes.
habits that are not in the book. So yeah, it's a it's very different because she is a newbie and the other American that I was training is also a newbie, but newbie in a sense that this is her first time customer service over the phone, but she did retail before for years. So she has an idea what to do, kind of. And then on the Filipino side, they are all tenured. One of them I actually know. Uh, I actually know like she has been in the industry at that point for 6 years or 7 years. I don't remember, but it has been a while, and she and some of her teammates, I guess, they come up with questions, and I love questions during trainings. However, the questions are vastly different because they are used to like a telco question or telco environment, and what I was training them is not telco at all. So it's very jarring the questions that she asked because it doesn't apply. And I can tell that she was kind of like miffed because I was maybe dismissing her questions as it doesn't apply because it doesn't. What am I gonna tell you that I'm not gonna discuss something that you think is a good question or a good scenario if it's not gonna happen in the hall. Like if that happens in your former company, great. That's not gonna happen here because it's two different things. So it's just gonna eat up time. Um, and that happens a lot, right? Somebody
Mm.
asks questions and then it turns into a big discussion that lasts 30 minutes. Next thing you know, it's already break. Next thing you know, it's already lunch. And
Okay.
I am guilty of that too, asking stupid questions like that, just to extend the time and prolong the discussion. But in this scenario, we literally have 1 day, 8 hours of training, because it's very simple. Like half of that is teaching you how to navigate the system, and how to answer calls, take calls, record calls, how to properly tag the calls, how to properly do notes, submit those notes, and then um, do all of that. This is a 30-second call, at most 2 minutes. And if it's 2 minutes, you're gonna get flagged already. Like, why is this call 2 minutes long? Because it's a very easy call. So the scenarios that she and the rest of the team are asking are simply not applicable. And
Oh.
I can tell that they are a little miffed at me because I'm um not exactly ignoring but dismissing their questions. It's just simply not gonna happen. And they were
And,
pushing like
and this was a good experience for you?
this is a good experience for me. You know why?
Why?
The newbie was the first one to get it,
Ah, okay.
and at the end of the session, I give them like an exam, quiz or whatever uh, that they have to submit via Microsoft Forms. Um, and the newbie was the only one that got it perfect. Everybody passed, but the newbie is the only one that got it perfect
Okay.
because she didn't overthink. She remembered the lessons and the discussions that we had, and some of the people that has experience in other scenarios or other industries think that it might happen, and it's not gonna happen. I'll share you an example. What if a customer or a caller calls in and asks for a manager immediately? Like what manager? We have no managers. See, that's a very fundamental thing that
Mm.
uh, people will ask. Like, what if they ask for a manager? Who is our manager? Who's the TL? I'm technically the TL. Are you gonna pass me the call? You're not. It depends on the address. There is like a note in every address that if this if a caller asks for a supervisor, you give out this number. Can
Okay.
you call the number? No, we cannot. We don't have outgoing. But can you transfer me? We can't transfer you. We don't have that capability. So again, if they ask for your manager, like the callers, the agent's manager, you're not gonna give me because the, uh, I'm seeing what you're seeing. The only thing I can do is give them the number of the super of the building,
Well,
and
and
there you go.
it's obviously it's obviously a protocol that when they immediately ask for a manager, I mean it's just protocol to understand why first.
No,
So and
no,
so I mean at least
no,
in certain scenarios they actually have to transfer it over to the
and
manager
and that's
immediately.
and that's the thing. In certain scenarios, that's what the tenured people are saying. What if this scenario, blah blah blah? There's no other scenarios. If they ask for a manager, if they are complaining about something, you give them the number, and that's it. And you also tell them that if you have complaints, you can just literally call this number any time of the day because
That's
it's
actually
their
good.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In terms of a specific account, in terms of a specific process,
and that's what I'm saying.
that's
Uh,
the most efficient way to go. Unlike in some of the processes that we had, no, don't do that. You have to
exactly,
follow our protocol.
exactly.
And
So they
in
have to
line, yeah,
unlearn that.
in line with that. See, that's where I came from. All right, and it's not where it's actually more efficient with regard to the process that you have.
Yeah,
So it just eliminates a lot of wasted time.
exactly. And if in most centers, uh, if they ask for a manager, you de-escalate, right? You try to
Mm-hmm.
de-escalate at least once. In some cases, you de-escalate unlimited times. Here, we don't de-escalate. We say like, "Oh, you're upset? Okay, go call the number. Go call the building super. He'll deal with it."
Okay.
And you know why this is like streamlined and made easy for everyone involved? It's easy for the caller. It's easy for the call taker. You know why?
Why?
I created that shit.
Oh, there you go.
I created that protocol.
That
I was the
that's a
one that
that's a pretty good protocol then. So
I know
that's a
because
very memorable experience, I gotta tell you. And it actually, my experience actually almost pales in comparison
well,
because
here's the thing, bro.
yeah.
Um, I have since 2019, so 6 years now. I have the opportunity and the luxury and the privilege of dealing with BPO jobs that are not your regular call center. Thank you for calling jobs. I've had the chance to work with uh, a, a virtual doorman company.
Hmm.
Nobody else in the Philippines offers that. We're the only ones, or at that time, we're the only ones. I'm not sure now. They're so new. I was the first person they hired. I was employee number 12 in the whole company. And I was the person that they turned to try and establish some of the things that they already did.
Yeah.
Try to smooth it out. So it's my task is to make it as smooth as possible for the hall taker and the caller. So if somebody
It's
asks for a manager, give it to the manager immediately.
that's actually a very good insight in terms of processes that you're able to
Yeah,
provide. Yes. Here's my take. In terms
dying
of
to
my
hear it.
memorable, experience, it's actually it's a lot different from yours. But first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to some of my fellow English coaches back then. Like shout out to Cyril, Francis, Katz. Those are my colleagues back in Sykes. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to the people I trained. I'd like to shout out to Dana. I think I trained Dana. Yes. I'd like also give a shout out to Celeste, to May, to Cherie, to Keish, to Bless, to Clang, um, so many more. I don't have time to name all of them. I mean, I think it probably like trained maybe 30 to 40 trainers under me. But here's my situation. It was
Before
very,
you go
very
to that,
simple.
before you go
What?
to that situation, I just want to add on something. If somebody I trained before in any of the company that I work for or working now, I apologize. I only know the people that I only remember the people that I'm training now. So the people I trained before, I'm sorry, I
That's
don't remember your name.
that's not unusual, bro. Because here, believe it or not, as a trainer, or as a trainer, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, but as a trainer, the only names that I remember of the only trainees that I remember are the trainees who are most memorable. Okay, if you were just like, man, I trained like hundreds of classes, and I
Yeah,
would possibly remember only one or two names from one specific class because they were memorable. Okay, when I say memorable, it could be positive or negative. Like you were an asshole, I'd remember you. Okay, but if you were like the teacher's pet or like very, very into the training and you're always asking questions, I'll remember you. Right. But I won't remember you, obviously. I mean, you just coast along the training. As a trainer, you go through many faces, many names. I can remember the faces, okay, but I might forget the names. Is that something that you can agree on?
100%. This goes back to the few months I taught at a senior high school in Malabon. I was a
Oh.
substitute teacher for somebody or for a teacher that was on maternity leave, and I took this job as a favor to one of my classmates in my master's degree. So uh, uh, this was back in 2018 or 2019 actually. I was only there for like 3 months or 2.5 months because the teacher is literally just recovering, right? So come 2023, 22, uh, I bumped into like my advisory class, and they were like, "Sir, sir, sir," and I'm like, "What? Who? Oh, I don't know their names, and I don't know, yeah, I don't know their names, but I kind of remember some of their faces because it's only been like 3 years at that point. But it's nice to learn that they are all in college at that point, and I hope they are third year college students now, and I hope they
Nice.
finish their their
That
degree.
that 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 actually happens to that actually happens to me a lot as well. And in the worst way possible. Why do I say the worst way possible? Okay, so um, I'm training a class, right? All right, and it's Friday night. And then it ends on Saturday morning. Okay, so Saturday morning, I'm on a date after resting a bit. I'm on a date with my wife, well, my ex-wife now. All right. I'm on a date with my wife. We go to Glorieta. Oh, lo and behold, 10 girls from my training class are there, gonna watch
Mm.
a movie. And then, oh, and then they come over and they say, Papa Bear. Okay, one or two of them, okay, would run straight at me. Okay, I don't know why they have like, I don't know why they feel like they need to hug me and in front of my wife, no less. So I'd get in trouble because of that. Okay, I'd get in a fight. Okay, right after that happened. So that's really, really, that's almost very detrimental to my
Like I
health
said,
back then.
like I said,
So
why you simping?
I know. Not done. Okay. So, and I don't even know any of their names. And that's the thing, like, oh, hi, what's up? Hey, how are you doing? Good to see ya. All right. Right. So I actually found a way to minimize the awkwardness because man, me and my wife would go out on weekends all the time back then, and then I'd see some of the people from my not only from my present training classes but from older classes who are already working as agents. Okay, they'd come up to me and say, "Papa Bear." Okay, they'd come up really close, put their hands in the air, expecting a hug. I would march forward with my hands like this. Hi, hi. Oh, look, here's my wife. Like, get the fucking hint. I don't want to get
Eh,
into fucking trouble. Okay, so
that is effective. That is
so
effective.
yeah, no, but
But why
but
you
still,
simping?
and being a simp, okay, I'd still get into trouble because why? Oh, my wife would say, "Oh, they were about to hug you." It's like, why were they about to hug you? Are you doing something? Okay, either way, bro, it's like damned if I do, damned if I don't, And at some point, all right, at some point, I
Okay.
actually really, really disliked seeing people that I care about or that I trained when I'm out in public, especially when I'm with my wife. Okay, so
I
yeah,
agree.
you're asking, I'm a total simp. Yeah, I was a fucking total simp. All right, but that's not gonna
Ay, ay,
happen
ay.
now because I hardly go
Great.
out anymore. All right,
Great. Go back to your
I haven't even
memorable
gotten to
training.
my fucking memorable training.
I'm
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
all right,
We
so
we get
memorable
sidetracked
training.
every time.
I don't mind. Memorable training. I was in a different site, and I'm pretty sure one of the trainers there was an individual named Charm. Shout out to you, Charm. Shout out to your husband, Steph, by the way, and your kids. So what happened was I was only an observer. All right, I was only supposed to observe them training a class. Here's what happened, and this is a lesson in crisis management. All right. So when they get into class, we didn't have laptops back then. We just have to log in with our own username, hope the system connects, um then we punch it through the projector. And as a dynamic trainer myself, I do not like using PowerPoints that much because I think when you're looking at the PowerPoint and when I'm asking a question, you're focusing on the problem, you're focusing on the question that's on the screen. And I think for me that's detrimental. So every time I have a PowerPoint, every time I ask a question, I turn off the screen so that they can freely think. It's like they're locked in the screen. You can't see the answers there. Stop looking at it. All right. But when you take off the screen, oh, I can suddenly start thinking and I can suddenly start giving questions. And the issue was they couldn't pull up the PowerPoint. All right. In crisis management, you always have to have a backup. So this class is only supposed to run for an hour, and that hour was like devoted to English training. I think that day they were going to focus on certain aspects of the product with opening statements and certain assurance statements, I think. So it was a very easy task, but 20 minutes into the class, they still haven't pulled it up. There was something wrong with the system. So they went up to me and said, uh, Bear, there's something wrong. I don't think we can do anything. And she was already almost panicking, although she was still smiling. And I said, You want me to take over? I said, Okay. All right. So I took over the class. What did I do? Okay. I just completely went off script. I had an activity that included all 25 of those people sitting there um, be into it. An activity that involved communication. All right. And that was the first time when they saw something of that sort. Not the trainees, but rather my English coaches. All right. That was actually a first lesson. So with the allotted time remaining for like 40 minutes or 35 minutes, we had a very dynamic training that included utilizing specific statements, and we would do it in groups. And it was loud as hell, but everybody was having fun. Everybody was laughing. Everybody was into the training where they could ask questions, they could deliver lines. I'm not gonna share with you exactly what we did back then, all right, because it's proprietary.
Oh.
But it was fun. So as a lesson in crisis management, what happens when the tools that you need to do your job actually fail? Well, you always have to have a backup, and a backup does not need you relying on your computer. A backup just includes you relying on your mind and on your wit and your ability to control a class. And not to make my head big, but I have the capability of controlling a class. It's actually very easy, especially when you're dealing with really, really smart people and people who don't like to get bored. And I don't like to get bored in training, right? So I make it fun, make it dynamic, and I was actually happy in the sense that down the line, they were able to utilize those very specific tactics through their own trainings and their own classes, especially when something happens that is unexpected, like oh, the computer shuts down completely, or the access doesn't work, or the network stopped functioning. So yeah, that
I
was
have
a
a
very
question for you.
memorable time for me.
I have a
Okay,
question for you.
go ahead.
Because just last Friday, I was also dealing with crisis management at my current job. So
There you go.
things fell apart. If if it's possible for it to catch on fire, it would be smoldering. Everybody was literally panicking because yesterday
Okay.
was a deadline. Uh, what would you do in that scenario? The the twist is this is not an in-person training. This is a literal virtual training.
Virtual. Okay. So what are the so you're asking me what I would do, and I'm not
I
sure.
want to
I'm not
compare what you would do to what I did.
what you would. Okay, like I mean, I don't know what the problem is. What was the problem?
Okay, so there was a um SharePoint was down pretty much.
Okay.
So every document that we need is stored in SharePoint as per policy, right? You don't save anything on your laptop that you are gonna share with everyone else. You share it in SharePoint. You have
Okay.
a designated SharePoint folder for your personal things that you would need for your job, and then depending on what you're doing, you have a SharePoint folder or SharePoint link to that as well.
Okay.
At the very at the very least, a path to that SharePoint link. Now SharePoint is down. It has been down literally the whole day.
Okay.
I still don't know why the SharePoint was down, and
All right.
until the end of my shift, it was down.
All right.
So what would you do?
Okay.
You have to
For
train something.
all right. First of all, SharePoint is down, but am I to assume that you already knew what you were supposed to train that day, or do you at least have an idea of the maybe three or four things you had to focus on?
No, it's a training that was it's a it's a process that was literally approved Thursday. So
Thursday.
I'm
Okay. Do you at
the
least remember one or two topics from that training?
of course, like I created the training, but I only
Okay, so
created it the day before. I have never trained it before,
you've
and
never
nobody
trained it
else
before.
in the
Okay.
company knows it.
Oh, that's easy. All right. That's easy. So if you already know the training, all right, if you created the training and then you can't access it and they can't access it, here's what I would do. Okay, I can't access it, but I can at least still recall five topics, maybe five topics that are very important that I at least have to go through that day. And I would first of all tell everybody what's happening. Okay, SharePoint is down. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a discussion on
They
certain
know.
topics that we had
They know.
to. Okay, they know. All right. So there you know, and then we're gonna start a discussion on topic number one. I'm gonna ask questions, okay? And I'm not even gonna focus on the fact that SharePoint is fucking down, but I'm gonna ask some questions about, okay, you're faced with this problem. How do you logically solve this problem? And maybe I can run a simulation or a very simple simulation, a very short mock scenario, maybe a mock call, or at least a mock scenario like,
Dude,
okay,
it's accounting.
I
What
mean, no,
mock call? What
no,
mock scenario?
if there's no mock call, if there's no mock call, here's the mock scenario. Okay, I'm gonna give you a mock.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you a mock call. Okay, and first of all, you didn't tell me it was fucking accounting. I fucking hate
Wait,
numbers,
what?
and you're
Dude,
putting me on the
what's
fucking
my
spot.
job? What's
All
my
right,
job?
I know you're
It's in
putting me on the fucking
accounting.
spot. Okay, so
I
accounting. All right,
understand.
so here's a mock scenario of a process that may involve numbers or accounting. Like okay, uh, let's say you're supposed to run several numbers. However, like today, the system is down, all right, and you're supposed to meet the deadline, but the system is down. So how do you circumvent that? Well, maybe I can run a scenario. And the obvious answer would be we don't do anything because we might make a mistake. If the system is down, our numbers might get messed up. That's like a pretty logical answer. And that's going to be like a good discussion point that would take me through maybe 20 or 30 minutes, okay, of other people giving other options. Well, if the system is down and you don't have numbers, but you at least have a backup somewhere, well, I can possibly call somebody from another department, see if those numbers are there. If they're not in the shared drive, if they can provide it to me, then I can still work offline. Okay. I can give specific scenarios that would have you go around the problem and not be buried in it.
Okay. Uh,
Is that feasible? Because that's crisis management,
that
right?
is
I don't.
100% not feasible in
Fuck
this scenario.
this.
No,
Okay.
bro, I understand what you're trying to do. Because if it's a call center scenario, that is exactly what I would do. However, this is not a call center scenario. Kaya that's why I asked, what would you do if you were faced with this problem? I did put you on the spot. I apologize, but not really because you're a smart guy. You know how to
Fucker.
you know how to you know how to get around these things. But um this specific scenario that you're asking or that you're saying cannot happen. Why? If a transaction, let's say, a transaction comes in, uh, and you open up that transaction, look at the levels that we're gonna go through. Transaction, and then you're gonna go to the voucher level, and then you're gonna go to the entity level, and then you're gonna go to the country code. Four levels. Each level has either one or 1,000 different transactions inside of it.
Okay.
Also, all four of these are taken care of now because this we know.
Well,
Everybody knows this.
why don't you tell me how you
Hold
managed
on.
it and not
I,
give me
I
the
will. I will.
okay.
I will. And then this, I'm getting to it. This fifth scenario or this fifth level is the TIS scenario. And this is what we don't have. This is what nobody actually knows. So what did I do? I, instead of me asking them questions, I just let them ask me questions. We have 32, 33 people in the call. So excluding the bosses, uh,
Okay.
these are just the accountants. I divided it into five or six groups, and then I want them to pull their questions. If they have similar questions, then um, erase that question and just
His
take care of
background
it.
just fizzled out. That's why his camera is off, by the way.
That's true. I
Okay, put it
apologize.
back up. All right.
Hold on.
No, at least no, that's actually a very good way to manage those that
Yeah.
certain crisis. But it's actually similar to what I was saying a while ago. Have a discussion. So you actually what you did was you segregated them, have a discussion amongst yourselves, find questions that you can ask me. Yeah, that's actually a very, very nice way to put it.
Yeah.
All right.
because their questions, because they encountered this before, they just don't know what to do with it. Before, when they have that scenario, they pass it off into our European counterparts because they were the first ones to receive this training, and to receive this access, if you will. So
Nice.
the European people uh, was the one who trained me or briefed me on how this is supposed to look like and how it's supposed to work. And then it's up to me to make that make sense into a
Okay.
Filipino audience.
So you, in essence, you actually got them to think about a lot of stuff and then ask you questions. So you certainly what you did was you filtered down their knowledge basis to asking you specific questions per group, and you were able to at least answer some.
I was able to answer all of them.
Oh, there
The
you go.
only thing the only thing I was not able to answer is how do you do it because I can't show it to you.
Well, I can't show it to you either, but at least my sounding board, or at least my scenario was also at least right.
That
Okay, have them
it is right.
discuss.
It is right,
It's just
but
different in the how.
yeah, the way you handled it would not work in my scenario because me asking them questions, they won't know the answer
Well, next time, give
because
me a general effing scenario, not something so
well,
specific as numbers.
but I wanted to know how you would approach a crisis situation because it really was a crisis situation. So it was a 3 hour training that was extended to
Wow.
almost five,
Okay.
because there's a lot of questions. And since this SharePoint is down, we can't do shit, literally, because the vouchers and the transactions will filter through SharePoint and then will be automatically uploaded or pushed by the system into our main tool. Since that's not gonna happen,
All right.
SharePoint is down. Uh, let's just talk and let's try to figure things out. I'm not saying that I was able to answer all of the questions correctly, because there are some scenarios that I misunderstood. But my colleagues were the ones that corrected me, and I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, that's good. Now, I think this is a good segue to
It
provide
is.
us with a scenario. All right. And this is the scenario coming out of the fat breaker question for today, motherfucker. Right, putting me on the spot. I hope I can put you on the spot, but
I doubt it.
as experience proves to be well, maybe it's a triumph of hope over experience. I'm hoping that I can stump you a little bit,
I
fucker.
doubt it.
All right,
I have
so
no shame.
what's the fat breaker question for
What
today?
is the fat bigger question, bro? Let me
All
have
right.
it.
First of all, I'd like to give you a brief background on the fat breaker question for today. Since I've been watching a ton of anime, I actually rewatched one of my favorite anime, which is High School DxD.
I have no idea
So
what that is.
exactly, I will allow me to explain. High School DxD is a fantasy-based anime with demons and angels and stuff like that. And the main guy, or the main protagonist, is a guy named Issei Hyodo. Now, essentially, his goal, okay, his goal for that entire anime, his one goal is to be the harem king. What is a harem? A harem is essentially a group of, well, if you want to take it back to Saudi Arabia, where this was mostly prevalent, the fact that a king can actually have a harem, which means like maybe 100 women servicing him, one night at a time, etc. Okay, so this guy, he's a pure-hearted, okay, but he's also got a perverted side. Essentially, he wants to be the harem king. With he has like a lot of buxom demons, all want to get rowdy with him. So the question is, all right, having said that, I want you to picture yourself sitting on a throne, a regal throne with red cushions and gold. It's embossed with gold at the sides, okay, filigreed with jewels and stuff like that. So, and I want you to pick exactly 7 women, anyone you want, doesn't matter who, doesn't matter from what walk of life. I want you to name exactly 7 women who will be in your harem. Why seven? Well, maybe because I like the number seven. Okay, it's a
Okay.
magical number. So give me your magical seven
That's a very
females
Harry
that will
Potter.
be, yeah, that'll be in your harem, and I will answer this question myself too.
I don't want you to answer that question. I will give you a different question.
No, I'm
I will
still
give
gonna
you a
answer
time.
it because I
Okay.
fucking prepared for this. I fucking prepared for this. I fucking thought about it for like the last 3 motherfucking days, and I'm using so much profanity. It's fucking insulting.
Dude, you had 3 days and I have 2 minutes.
Exactly. Name
But
your seven
okay,
fucking people.
okay. I'm not gonna name anybody from my real life because that's just cheating.
Go ahead.
Uh, Jeannie Weasley, book version.
Oh my god,
Uh,
it's going fictional. Okay, awesome.
not not 100% fictional. Just my
Some are
top.
fictional. Yeah, exactly. I said anyone,
Exact,
that's fine. Go ahead.
exact.
You got Ginny
Um,
Weasley.
uh, Alexa Bliss,
Oh shit.
WWE
Okay.
performer.
Yes.
Uh, as you guys know, I'm a big WWE fan. I mean, it's tattooed on my
Go
heart.
ahead.
So this is gonna be mostly actors, celebrities, and wrestlers. So
Go
who?
ahead.
Lexi Kaufman, Alexa Bliss,
Okay.
Gina Weasley, Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay. Megan. Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
mm-hmm,
Thick.
hmm you know it. You know it.
I know it. I
Um.
know it.
Uh. Who? Stephanie Vaquer,
Oh. Okay.
another wrestler.
Yeah.
Um. Man, I need three more, right?
No, that's five. Oh no, yeah, that's four.
No, that's
Yeah, you
four.
need three more.
Wait. You gotta give me time here.
There you go.
Abigail Morris,
Okay.
porn star.
Yes.
Porn star. um, Diana Subiri,
Oh,
my
motherfucker.
my my ultimate crush. Yes.
She's in
Uh,
Australia right now with the two kids and
she
her husband.
she's not in Australia anymore. She's in Batang Quiapo, I think.
Oh wow, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And one, what's her last name? Miles Ocampo.
Okay. I don't know who that is though.
Uh,
All right.
she's a host of Itbulaga right now. Former
Yeah. Sorry, like I give a shit.
Buen Bulala. Going Bulili. I know, but now you know.
Okay, now I know. All right.
I
So
I
I'm
don't
I'm
care. I don't care about yours. Here's
I
my
don't I,
question.
I, I, I
No,
don't
go
I don't
ahead.
give
Go
a
ahead.
shit. I'm still gonna say it out loud. Okay, because I had like 3 days or 2 days to think about this shit. Like, what if I was like the harem king? All right, and I kept it to a very specific locale. Uh, in terms of Filipino celebrities, Filipinas rather, and these are all sexy stars from either the late '90s or the early 2000s. So
Aliona
I don't.
Amor.
I
Woohoo.
don't give a shit if you know these people. Okay, and no, Alona Amor is not one of them. Don't like her. Okay, so the first one, and I actually wrote it down.
Nini Jacinto.
No, no, not even. Just stop fucking guessing and let me get on with the fucking list. All right, all right. So first off is Natasha Ledesma. Okay, I don't know if you know that. Good. She's very white. And at least at her 40s, she's actually still very lithe. I've seen some of her Facebook videos. She still dances really great. Okay, then you have Claudia Coronel. Yes, wonderful person. Seen her in person. Form is just buxomly wonderful. Okay, then you have I think this is a very popular choice. I don't know if you know this. Aramina, the older sister of Christine Reyes, real name Hazel
Happy birthday.
Reyes.
Happy
All
birthday,
right.
by the way. Yes. Or
Yes.
related.
Fuck. All right. Next is yes, Maui Taylor, obviously from the Viva Hot Babes. Very
Dude,
petite.
Balahibong Pusa.
What? Yes,
Balahibong Pusa.
Balahibong Pusa.
Ah,
Wait, was that Lika Pelelejo?
and she was there too.
Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah,
Mm,
I never watched
mhm,
that though. Okay,
mhm.
and which I almost actually put Lika Pelelejo here, but no, I actually went with another Viva Hot Babes, Hazel Espinosa. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Andrew E. Why did I pick Hazel Espinosa? Because she was actually in his music video Honey. All right. So if you know it, you know it. Sexy. All
If you
right.
know, you
Then
know.
I have my favorite Filipinos, my favorite Filipina sexy star, which is Aya Medel. All right.
I was gonna say I am Adele earlier.
All right. Very, very wonderful. Very exotic. Okay. The reason why I put her is because I actually think that my girlfriend right now looks a bit like her. Same color skin, same porcelain. Okay, smooth, just wonderful. And the number one, which should be at the head of the class in my own harem, is Katia Santos. Why her? Well, she's got big,
Damn.
beautiful eyes. She's got milky white skin, and she's got
Big
this
beautiful
very
eyes.
very demure, shy smile. I actually thought about her a little bit while I was writing one of my songs, which is named Starry Eyes. And if you don't know that song, that's fine because I wrote it. I'm going to post a link of it later on. I was actually thinking about her. I was thinking of her demure, shy smile. It was very nice. Okay. And the one reason why I actually asked this is because um, I have a similarity with the guy in high school DxD. We like big bus, big big boobs. Okay, so that's actually the reason. All those individuals that I just mentioned, my favorite Filipina sexy stars, have really huge boobs. And come to think of it, my girlfriend does too. So hell yeah, hell to the
Dude,
f yeah.
dude,
Okay.
come on.
Oh, I'm not gonna shy away from that. Okay.
Okay,
So
well, it's my turn.
okay, motherfucker, give me your best or worst, whatever the fuck it is.
Are you sure? Can you
Yes.
name your last three names? So, I am Adele, Maui Taylor, and who?
Katia Santos?
Katia Santos.
No, I
Okay,
can't. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, okay. I am Adele, Katia Santos, Maui Taylor, FMK.
Eh. That's your fat breaker question?
Fuck yeah. As soon as you as soon as you mentioned Harem, I immediately knew this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick the last three that you mentioned and have you choose FMK.
Okay, I'm gonna kill Maui. Okay,
Okay?
because even though I've had such a huge crush on her, I've actually heard stories about her being like a snob. So yeah, get
Okay.
the snob out of the way.
Okay.
I'd I wouldn't I don't want to use the F word, okay, but I would make love and never see her
F.
again. That would be Katia Santos.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, you're marrying
because
Ayamidel. Okay, I get it.
the mirror shy smile, I like it. All right. Even though I liked her white skin, all right, I think
Very
that I
beautiful.
would just have a better future with I Am Adele, and I like her porcelain skin more than the milky white skin. And
And
besides, she's doing
she's a
what?
chef now.
I know she's a wonderful chef, so she can make me all the food
Dang.
I want, baby. I
Exactly.
think she
Okay,
lives in like
that's
one of the
pretty good.
provinces.
And
So yeah, I'd
is
pick her.
she here? I think she
I
is
think she's
in
somewhere in the Visayas or Cebu region. I don't know, but I know for a fact it's
okay.
not in the NCR.
Okay.
I know
Well,
it's somewhere here, somewhere here, but I'm not sure.
well, there you go.
Okay,
Um,
that was your fat breaker. That was
that's my
weak,
fat
bro.
breaker. Oh, it was weak. Do you want me to
Yeah,
come up with something better next time?
come up with something better, and I'm gonna ask you to answer that fat breaker
Sure.
yourself with the
Sure.
7 people in your harem.
Okay. So wait. Okay. So I just kill like five of them.
Well, no, me it's FMK.
Yeah.
All right, so don't just discount 4 of them. Just focus on 3.
Okay. So I'll you name three. So it's fair. Name three from my harem.
Okay. Um, Jenny Weasley,
Mm-hmm.
Abigail Morris,
Mm-hmm.
and Ginny Weasley, Abigail Morris, and Megan Thee Stallion.
So I'm killing Meg.
Okay. Why?
I'm fu- out of the three, she's the easy kill. I'm fucking Abigail Morris.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
marrying I'm marrying Bright Eyes.
oh my God. Freaky shit, man. You just insulted Harry Potter, but still awesome
What?
choice.
But I'm marrying Bright Eyes. What are you talking about?
I said Ginny Weasley.
Yeah, Ginny
Oh,
Weasley.
you're
Bright
you're you're
Eyes.
you're fucking mate. You're fucking Ginny Weasley.
No, I'm fucking Abigail Morris. Marrying Ginny Weasley.
Oh, there you go.
Ginevra
That's what I
Molly
said.
Weasley.
Yeah, Ginevra Weasley. Yeah, so yes, I would actually have done the same thing. Okay.
I know. I know. It's.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
She's a and I just want to advance plug in our Compendium channel. There's like a part two of what we're doing right now, like the Always and Always. The second book is Book of Albus, but after that, guys, I'm gonna take you to a journey. I'm telling you, a journey, and I can't wait to discuss it in our Harry Potter episode.
All
Oh my
right.
god!
So, you know what? We're actually gonna we're already planning on having uh a full on episode just about Harry Potter and mostly fan fiction and
Oh
discussions
show!
on
Oh show!
our favorite books. So yeah, just stay tuned for that, and also please write down in the comments what you would like us to talk about, and we'll
Yeah.
be in future shows. We will be including guests. Right now, we
Yeah.
do not have the time nor capacity to do that, but we will be looking for guests to star in the show. Hopefully, I can get I am Adele to start here to get an interview,
No.
maybe, hopefully, but it'll
No.
be really effing awkward. All
But
right.
here's the thing. In my current lineup, I can get a TL, a former teammate of mine from Teletech. She is now a TL, and she is based in Davao, working for a remote role. So she has that experience of leading a team of all remote workers. I have a three times stroke survivor,
Oh wow. Okay.
and also like a 20-year call center veteran. I have a former or yeah, he was I don't know what you call it, but he was in the seminary for a while, and then when he was in there, he was allowed to like go out for like a few months, and the dude just never returned, and he
Okay. Well,
went to the call center
those
world.
those are interesting guests. I gotta tell
Oh
you, and
yeah, oh yeah,
I actually have similar people in mind. Some of them are
yeah,
my friends. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We won't be naming names
No,
just
no
now,
names,
but in
no names.
future episodes, we'll be able to at least give you guys a little bit of variety. And most of it is just it's also gonna fall under our main topic, usually about the call center or the BPO experience. But we are open to other avenues or at least other industries. Yes.
And as early as now, I would like to announce um, Papa Bear, at the very least, Papa Bear will
Yeah.
be a guest um,
Oh,
for a
okay.
big, gigantic YouTube channel. He is there to talk about what we're talking about here. I hope I can join. I'm just not sure. I'm already committed on the day that they're gonna film. They're gonna film in his apartment. I'm gonna try my best to still make it, but I'm not
Yeah, I'm
100% sure.
hoping we can all fit. It's such a very small space here, but yeah,
I mean, I can sit in their toilet if you want me to. I don't
fuck
care.
that. You might break my fucking toilet, but
I
yeah.
might. I might.
We'll see. It's I'm hoping at least to make an appearance, although I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just
For
being
sure.
cautiously optimistic. Things happen. I'm just hoping. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for reminding me.
No
Okay,
problem.
I'll have
This was
to
supposed to happen 2 weeks ago,
yeah, I'll
but
have to clean up here like 2 or 3 days before they come over. So yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to them because I'm the one that's actually brokering the deal. But
Oh yeah.
ironically, I'm the one that may not be appearing. But whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for joining us. We
Yes,
will
thank
see
you.
you. We will see you next week. Ciao, y'all.
Alrighty.
Fat Filipinos all night. Two fat Filipinos in a. Let's flow. Yeah. Two fat Filipinos in the house. Two fat Filipinos in the know. Two fat Filipinos all night. Two fat Filipinos, let's flow.